Fearless leader.
Oh, you're on now.
I'm not ready yet.
Thoughts.
Not till 9 o'clock.
I can't see the clock. There's a big wing in the way.
Listen.
Oh,
Well, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah,
doesn't the world run off our phones?
I hate looking at that phone. I can't lose it anymore.
I had one fall in the water and I thought if I picked it up real quick, it'd be all right. Nope.
Nope.
Put it in rice, did all that stuff.
Hey, that works though. That rice does, if you leave it in there long enough, it will dry out a phone. Or a remote control. Yeah.
Didn't work for me. Right.
Submerge it and go swimming with it.
I just leaned over. Took the grandkid fishing. I leaned over like to get the boat on the trailer.
Yeah,
Little boat.
just fell right in.
And I grabbed it. Worked fine. So I thought it was okay. That's where I made my mistake.
Yeah. You can take the
It was the
battery.
next morning I woke up, it didn't work and then it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a reminder that.
In other words, it's a hot mic, right?
Too late now.
Yeah. Have we started recording?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
The Zoom.
Not supposed to use bad words.
Right, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning. Welcome to our regular meeting of LAFCo, Butte County LAFCO. Please join me and salute the flag of our nation. Right. Ready, salute, pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Bolin,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Kimmelshoe,
Here.
Chair Connolly,
Here.
Commissioner McGreehan.
Here.
Commissioner Sharman,
Here.
Commissioner Betts. Alternate Commissioner Don Rust,
You're muted, Don. Oh, I guess
Rosen, maybe.
he's not actually here yet.
Sorry, I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
Alternate Commissioner Bradley,
Here.
alternate Commissioner Reynolds. Thank you.
Okay, first up is our consent agenda. Do we have any public wishing to pull something from the consent agenda? See no interest. Anyone up here like to pull something from the consent agenda? I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Oh, I have to call a roll because he's on Zoom, so we got to call a roll. Sorry.
Commissioner Bolin,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yeah.
Commissioner Kimmelshoe,
Yes.
Chair Connolly,
Aye.
Commissioner McGreehan,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharman,
Yes.
alternate Commissioner Rust.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, did you catch that one?
Yeah.
All right, next up is our notice public meeting, 3.1, El Medeo. It's a dissolution and propose the dissolution of El Medeo Fire Department District. I'll turn that over to staff.
Okay, thank you, commissioners. So today we're considering a proposal to dissolve the El Medeo Fire Protection District. At its October 3rd, 2022 board meeting, the El Medeo Fire Protection District unanimously adopted a resolution to dissolve the district. I just want to give you a little history of the district. It was formed in 1925 to provide an enhanced or specialized fire protection service to the residents of the South Oroville area. Up until its closure, it served 6,000 residents. and its boundaries overlay portions of the city of Oroville and are in unincorporated Butte County. The district is funded by a combination of sources. It does receive a proportion of secured property taxes, which make up about 30% of its funding. And for the 21-22 fiscal year, that brought in about $165,000. There are several special assessments for residents in the district. In 1980, they voted to assess a $60 fee for residential parcels, and then in 2008 voted to add $58 to that to parcels, so for a total of $118 per residential parcel. Over the years, they've collected a variety of one-time grant monies, including Indian gaming funds, firefighter safety grants, and other various types of grants. And then, as we know, as with all of our districts and agencies over the years, the district's balance has remained fixed and costs for services have continued to increase. Over the years, the district has attempted to seek funding from multiple sources. In 2004, they did an extensive study and proposed to collect development impact fees for new development. They proposed that to the County of Butte, who rejected that proposal. So no development impact fees are passed along through to the district. In 2012, they attempted a ballot measure M that would allow the district to secure bonds up to $1 million that would allow them to build new training facilities and classrooms and storage facilities, and that failed as it did not receive the 2/3 vote. In 2020, they attempted ballot measure D that would add an additional $60 per residential parcel. And of course, that failed because it did not receive the 2/3 vote. And then over the years, they've attempted multiple attempts to share services with other districts to cut their costs, such as dispatching. As far as LAFCo goes, in 2004, they had an MSR done. And based on significant operational and fiscal constraints, the commission gave them a 0 sphere of influence, which meant that they could not grow. Since 2004, they made significant progress to improve the standing of the district, including the adoption of the 2012-13 master plan. In 2013, the commission revisited and did another MSR and expanded their SOI significantly, but did provide some recommendations on how the district could improve financially. And that included that they annexed additional areas in their sphere of influence so that they could collect the property tax from areas that they were already serving, that they renegotiate their tax sharing agreement or the impact fees with the County of Butte, and that they secure additional special assessments on the properties in the district. And as we know, none of these attempts were successful, and their expenditures continued to increase while their budget did not. So in 2020, the district ultimately closed its stores and stopped providing service. So the proposal to dissolve the district is consistent with LAFCo policies for dissolution that provide that this commission can approve a dissolution of a district when the service is no longer offered or can be offered by another agency more efficiently. It's LAFCo's responsibility to name a successor agency for the dissolution, and in this instance, that will be the County of Butte. As we know, CAL FIRE provides fire protection services to the area through its contracts with Butte County and the city of Oroville. And most importantly, they provide that service at no additional cost to the residents. So like I mentioned, Butte County will be named the successor agency to wind up the affairs of the district. And today, what we know is that the district has no known financial liabilities. So essentially upon dissolution, the only bills they would need to pay are utility bills and things like that. along with this dissolution, the property tax share will be redistributed amongst the tax rate area for which that serves El Medeo. And the special assessments will be eliminated, which is probably the most important part of it. Although back for the 2022-23 fiscal year, the district decided not to collect those special assessments. And so there's no money there from that. And then since closing its doors, the district has worked to liquidate any of its physical assets, including its fire engines and equipment and potentially the fire station. So that's good news that the county won't have a whole lot to do upon dissolution of the district, but they will be responsible for any of the funds that remain in their account upon dissolution. So today staff is recommending that the commission adopt resolution 11-22-23, find the project categorically exempt from CEQA, and then dissolve the El Medeo Fire Protection District, naming Butte County as the successor agency and eliminating all special assessments associated with the district, and waive protest proceedings. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, and we do have a representative from the district available if you need anything.
Could we hear from the representative, then we'll go to questions by the board or commission? I mean,
Bobby, are you available?
Yeah, can you hear me?
yes, Bobby, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Commission. Appreciate the opportunity to be in front of you guys. Unfortunate for the circumstances. My name is Bobby O'Reilly. I'm the clerk of the board for El Medeo Fire. As we know, the board decided to close the operational doors in 2020 due to, as Ms. Costa mentioned, the expenses just far outweighed the income. And we all have a good understanding of what that looks like for business. For the next 2 years following, the reason, and there's a lot of question as to the reason that it took so long to get to this point. And that reason is simply this: our board was taking a responsible step to try to make sure that all avenues, all possibilities, anything was explored that would have allowed the district to remain in effect, to remain open, to serve its constituents, its district. Unfortunately, that could not happen. And so the board made the sound and unanimous decision to proceed with dissolution. As Ms. Costa mentioned, El Medeo Fire Protection District at this time has no financial obligations. They have no existing outstanding debt, except for regular bills such as PG&E, internet, water, and I believe that's pretty much it. There were some invoices that were received that the board is contesting, and the board does not agree with. So at this time, as far as El Medeo Fire Protection District is concerned, there are no outstanding invoices or bills for the district. We would appreciate and do appreciate the county taking over as successor agency. We've tried to make that process as easy and seamless as possible by liquidating all of the assets of the district, so that whoever was to come in would not have to have that burden on them. Right now, the property is in the process of being acquired by another agency. Hopefully that process moves seamlessly. And I do have some questions, but I'm not sure if the LAFCo board is who addresses those. I will just quickly mention them. One is after this dissolution agenda item today, do our remaining 3 board members remain until everything is finalized so that they can sign off on the property and anything else that may come about, or when are they essentially relieved of their duties? And with that, I will turn it back over to you guys. Again, I appreciate your due diligence in this matter. And on behalf of the El Medeo Fire Protection District, myself being in that district for almost 35 years of my life, growing up, going to the fire department, doing ride-alongs with Chief Rusty, and then becoming a member of the department. It is my pleasure to have done so, to have been a part of such a great and tremendous asset to the South Oroville community. And we are sad to see it go. Thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Do you want to address that question? What happens with the board?
If the dissolution is approved today, we'll enter into a 30-day reconsideration period. And then after that, we will record the dissolution. And it's upon that date that the district no longer exists. So essentially between now and 30 days, the district can continue to make those decisions. I would hope that they do those in conjunction with the county. Graciela is on Zoom and apparently would like to make a comment as well, if you'll.
Okay, we'll allow her to
Okay.
comment, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is Graciela, Butte County Auditor Controller, and I have been working with the El Medio Fire District and assisting with their the dissolution process. And so I just wanted to make sure that it was clear that the 2 outstanding invoices, they do need a final decision by the LAFCo board. I'm sorry, not the LAFCo board, the El Medio board, before it's finalized. So they are contesting them, but we need a final decision by both the city of Oroville and the county of Butte that is basically saying, nope, we agree that we are not going to continue to go after the monies that they're claiming on that. So if we could make sure that somehow it's written in the documentation that there's closure on that, that would be very helpful in ensuring that all the loose ends are tied up. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to clarify, the invoices they're talking about are charges for dispatch and for service provided by the county and the city. And I know the county has no interest in pursuing it, but we'd probably have to take it to the full board to get that officially stamped. I don't know what's going on with the city.
I don't know the point. I don't know the stance the city's taking, but we could look into that. But as I mentioned, the El Medeo district will have the opportunity to meet between now and 30 days to tie up any of those loose ends.
Okay, questions by board members, committee members?
A sufficient amount of time for both the county and the city to resolve the invoice question?
I think that from my perspective, common sense would say, I got something that went away and has no way of paying me. I'd probably just forgive it.
Understood, but I'm posing the
Yeah.
question knowing that you agencies meet on a regular basis once a month or twice
Yeah, I
a month
think-
at the most, but
I don't think we have any problem with the county side. I cannot speak for the
can't
city.
speak for the city. And then if I may, Mr. O'Reilly, are you at liberty to share which other agency is in negotiations to acquire the property? I assume it's the fire station.
I've de-promoted him, but
Oh,
it's my understanding that it's the Lake Oroville Public Utility District.
Yeah, that would be really close to where they're at. So be good. Good. Any other questions or comments before we open public comment?
Yeah, do you mind if I ask Chief Sholin a few questions? First of all, thank you for coming today, and just a quick question as to employees of the El Madeo district, are they going to be absorbed into CAL FIRE at this point or no?
No, no, they
Okay.
will not. They're not part of the city of Oroville or the county of Butte contracts for services.
Okay. And currently you're already covering that area, right? CAL FIRE is
Correct.
with an agreement with, well, CAL FIRE is because
Yeah.
you also are the fire department for Oroville as well, right?
Correct. So the boundaries overlap a bit there, or actually connect, if you will, there between the city of Oroville and the county of Butte. So both entities are providing service through the CAL FIRE contract to the citizens. And roughly in the last 2 years, we've responded to over 2,000 calls between both agencies to the El Madeo Fire District.
Okay. And then any of the assets that they have, is CAL FIRE interested in any of the assets?
We have not been approached by anyone from the El Madeo District to discuss that or go through their assets and see what can be reutilized in either the city or the county for services to the.
So the bottom line, fire protection is ongoing in that area.
It
with
is, and
CAL
it has
FIRE.
been it won't change as it has stand for the last 2 years since they've closed their doors and we provided protection. So I haven't gotten any negative feedback that it's been deficient in any ways.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments? We'll open public comment. Do we have any cards or any interest? Come on up. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman
Wondered why
Conley.
you're out there.
Good to be here. I wanted to show you my new winter blazer that we lawyers wear in this cold weather. The only question that.
Could you state your name?
I'm sorry, Richard Harriman.
Thank you.
Resident of Chico. The only question that Mr. Kimoshu didn't ask that I'd like to ask through the chair is then the takeaway is that any new annexations into the city of Oroville in this area would essentially then, since the city of Oroville has a contract with CAL FIRE, be the same as if it were still covered right now, correct?
Yes, and actually to clarify it, there's a county city boundary. The city's responsible within the city limits. The county is responsible on the other side of the line. And it wouldn't remain the same with
So
annexation.
the sphere of influence of El Medio will be extinguished, basically?
I'm sure that's true. Yes,
Okay,
it's gone.
thank you very much for answering those questions.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Mike Brown. I worked with the El Madeo Fire District adjacent to them through Butte County Fire, CAL FIRE, Gridley Fire, Biggs Fire, Town of Paradise Fire Department over the course of my career. And I watched this transpire over the last few years keenly because even though I live in the city limits of Oroville, in an area that used to be in the unincorporated county, the first arriving fire engine would have been from the El Madeo Fire District. And it worked well for years. In fact, El Madeo Fire District has succeeded. During the course of this, some people have assumed they failed. They have not failed. They set out to do what their ancestors set out to do 100 years ago, and that was to provide service in a vacuum. They led the way for Butte County, who didn't yet provide service in any coherent, cohesive fashion until early 1930s. El Madeo started in 1925, and they were literally planning 100 years ago now. They led the way for the Paradise Fire District, setting the example. Paradise Fire District collapsed, imploded, and became the town of Paradise through the efforts in part of firefighters. I worked there for a time, but you've seen over the course of your careers in public service, the evolution of fire protection. All the while, El Madeo has provided service to South Butte County, predominantly on a volunteer basis. They deserve our thanks, not our criticism. And I just want to get that on the record because they did a fine job. They set out to do what couldn't be done 100 years ago, and they did it for 100 years. So thank you, El Madeo. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well put. Any other public comment on this matter? We'll close public comment. My comment is I grew up there in El Madeo. I remember walking by the fire station and from first grade on, and they did provide a great service. But unfortunately, times have changed and got ahead of them. And we couldn't, the public just didn't wish to spend any more money. So here we are to the rational conclusion of a great service. So any other any comment by board members? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I have a procedural question. I was a little bit late to join the meeting, 2 or 3 minutes late. I don't know if Mr. Russ checked in as being on voting today or whether I'm still on to participate.
I'll take that to the clerk. Which one's voting?
Did he, I didn't catch, Mr. Best, did you join before or after I began my presentation?
After.
Mr. Russ, vote.
All right, Steve, that's a $5 fine. I'll send it to you. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
So should the motion? 4 items that were at the bottom of the list.
You can.
If you could bring
you
that
can
back
make-
up again.
You can make the motion to adopt the resolution that contains
Okay,
each of those points.
That's what I want to make sure. So I would move then that we adopt the resolution that contains all the issues that we need to have. I don't know if that's the right wording for this, to dissolve El Madeo Fire District.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Bolin,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kimmelshoe,
Yes.
Chair Connolly,
Aye.
Commissioner McGreehan,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharman,
Yes.
Commissioner Rust. Commissioner Rust,
Well, so how do we've got the majority vote, so we're good.
Just view that as an abstention.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. That was awful. Okay. so it was a really tough thing for me to vote on. I mean, I've grown up there and helped them several times obtain funding. It's done, it's necessary. Not happy about it, but here we go. Next up, 4.2 adoption of 2023 LAFCo regular meeting calendar. Do we have any questions or comments by the public on our meeting calendar? No, we didn't get any electronically. Does anyone here have any questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting calendar.
I'll move to approve. Second.
And I'll make sure there's no public comment. All right, none. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Bolin,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kimmelshoe,
Yes.
Chair Connolly,
Aye.
Commissioner McGreehan,
Aye.
Commissioner Sharman,
Yes.
Commissioner Rust,
$10 for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so the next up is a public comment. Anyone from the public like to speak on an item not agendized today? We cannot take action on it, but we should certainly listen to you. Is there any interest in public comment? Mr. Harriman, good morning again.
Good morning again, Chairman Connolly, members of the commission, Richard Harriman. In view of Mr. Lucas's condition, I'm going to ask that the board do something or direct staff to do something, is that one of the major infrastructure issues for City of Chico is the interchange at Southgate and Entler. It's in the process of being developed and funded through federal and state funding. And I'd like to ask the board to direct the executive officer to, in his ordinarily voluminous executive's office report, to report on the status of that particular infrastructure project. And that's the only request I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Close public comment. Now move on. Next will be the executive officer's report.
Yes,
And
that's me
You're
today.
going to cover that today.
I'll
right?
just provide the commission today with a brief update on some things that have happened since we last met. Looking at the first item under projects for the town of Paradise, I attended their November 7th, 2022 town council meeting, for which they adopted the environmental impact report for the Paradise Sewer Project. There was very little public comment. There were some letters received that they did enter into the public record at that time. The latest update on that is that they continue to work with the city of Chico to get their contract with them together, and that we anticipate the Chico City Council to hold a meeting to adopt a whole slew of documents in the coming future. That date's not been set at this time. Moving forward to drainage and reclamation districts, I attended a November 2nd, 2022 board meeting for Drainage District 2, for which they adopted a resolution to dissolve that district. We've not received the application for that, but we do anticipate that to be coming in shortly, and you'll see that on your agenda in the early springtime. For Paradise Irrigation District, they do have an active application with us to update their municipal service review. So that process has begun. So we could probably see that coming to this commission maybe late spring, early summer. And then just a quick update that I don't actually have on this report, but the City of Chico at their planning commission for tonight will hear the environmental impact report and all related items for the Valley's Edge specific plan. So I'll be tuning in to that excitement, and we'll provide an update as that progresses along. So those are all the updates I have, unless you have any specific questions.
Questions or comments by commissioners? Public comment on our report? Thank you. Is there any correspondence? Okay, how about this? We're adjourned till Thursday, January 5th. 2022. That should be 2023. I caught that one. Ooh. In the city of Warville Council Chambers. Class dismissed. Good job, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Happy New Year's.